My zero spend month is over and I am here to give you the scoop on everything. I'll share my final numbers for what we spent during the month of February, how it helped us, and what all of our takeaways are moving forward. Hi, my name's Laura, and I invite you to make yourself at home as I wrap up my zero spend grocery budget challenge. Well, let's get the first big thing out of the way. I'll share my final spending with you. I had one small grocery haul in this final week, and here it is. I decided to do a little restock on fruit. We're down to mostly oranges and one apple. And since we have company, I thought we would do a little restock. I got some grapes that were on sale, a couple bananas, and then found this nice bag of apples on clearance. So I spent $5.57 total today. And that puts me a little bit over my intended budget, but not too big a deal. I'll put the numbers on the screen and show you. If I'm being entirely honest, I probably didn't need all of that. It didn't hurt anybody's feeling to have a little variety of fruit, and a good bit of it's lasted us well into the first week of March, so I'm okay with that. But I'm going to own it. It goes with the month of February. That's when I spent it. It is what it is, and those are my final numbers. So next I'll share what we ate for the final week of the month. So how did this help us? Well, the most obvious thing is we got to pocket a large amount of money. I normally maintain a $400 a month grocery budget. So this saved me $335 and some change. That's not too shabby. If you have an acute need or a bill that creeps up unexpectedly, this is a great way to set aside a chunk of money that you weren't otherwise planning to have to set aside. So what are some of my takeaways? Beyond the money that we save, there are several things that go well beyond the month of February. I've shared some of these at various points, but just to recap here at the end of the month, there is this sense of being intentional and careful, being good stewards of what we have, trying to use up the food that we have and not be wasteful. Those are all great benefits and good, healthy reminders for any of us at any point. And I'm thankful for those reminders for us this month. I think we'll carry those with us in the upcoming months as well. Another takeaway is we can do without a lot of things. I find that many of the things that we have here in our home, quite frankly, are luxuries. And when we have the money, that's perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with using the money we have and buying things that we enjoy. I don't want to come across in any way that we have to deprive ourselves of those things if we have the money. That's not the point of this at all. It does cause me to be very thankful for those things and appreciate them even more. One of the things that I'm beginning to discover in the last couple years, and even more so in this last month, is I'm actually able to make a lot of our own bread. A few years ago, I never would have thought that that was even really possible. But I have begun making sourdough in the last couple years, and I've made sandwich bread a little bit in the past, but I really began to make it quite consistently in this last month. Now, I'll admit, I like the store-bought sandwich bread, and we will keep it probably. But it was nice to realize that I could work on my skill and get better at it and actually make the bread that we need. And it's nice to know that and be able to do that. I've got a couple other breads that I really would like to learn and get better at. I've never made tortillas. I would like to try making homemade tortillas. I've never made homemade buns for sandwiches. I'd like to give that a try before too long. But for this previous month, I did make all of our own sandwich bread. I made some sourdough boules that we used for crusty bread with soup. I also made our own English muffins and bagels as well. So that was kind of fun. I don't anticipate doing this ongoing forever. It is nice to know I have the ability to do that. One of the other takeaways I have would probably not be your traditional takeaway, but go with me for just a second and let's check out my freezer. Okay, here's the big takeaway from the garage freezer. I'll back out and just show you everything. Still have tons in the top, lots of beans and broth. Still have some fruit in that drawer, a lasagna, couple convenience items. But here's my big takeaway. Down here, I have lots of meat. There are still some frozen meatballs. There's a whole rack of ribs, a few hamburgers, and behind the hamburgers, we have 1 pack of chicken, 1 pack of pork, pulled pork, and 1 pack of country ribs. I have a crock pot meal, a couple packages of Italian sausage. We have lots of meat that we have not even touched this month. So that's the reason I want to show you this freezer in particular. So my guess is that I probably could eat off of the meat in that freezer for 6 weeks easily, maybe even longer. I'm not entirely sure. And while I don't plan to continue the zero spend, I am going to continue some type of freezer and pantry challenge because we did not eat it nearly as quickly as I thought we would in the month of February. It's there. Why don't I use it now? So I do plan to continue some of this in the upcoming months. If you're curious what a grocery haul looks like after a zero spend month, I thought I would show you what they look like here in this house. So after a zero spend grocery budget month, this is what my Sam's Club haul looks like. We have a couple things that we rarely have to restock, like those trash bags and hand soap, those kind of things. Oh, and Splenda. Splenda's like once every few years, actually. So we've got a handful of things that are occasional, and then we just needed some snacks. We're down to like half a jar of jelly. Tortilla chips go on the list about every month, and we had a little splurge on some corn dogs. Splurge not as in cost, but yeah, they're just not healthy, but every once in a while, they're just kind of nice. So we grabbed some corn dogs and bread because I am not making all my own sandwich bread this month. I do like to purchase that at Sam's Club. We've got some buns for our grilled chicken sandwiches and burgers. And we did run out of chocolate chips about halfway through the month. We survived without them, but we need them, to be quite honest. And I grabbed some Yum Yum sauce. That's another thing that we like to get there, but don't need it very often. But a couple things not pictured, a case of water that just went straight into my husband's truck to go to work with him. And we get salt for our water softener. And all in all, I spent $143.17. That's a pretty normal total for my beginning of the month haul from Sam's Club. So this is what my grocery haul looks like. We had several things in the way of personal items and household items and cleaning supplies that we had to replenish. We're getting pretty low on toothpaste, and so I did a restock on that, some tissues, some cleaning products there at the back. We needed some distilled water, almost out of vinegar, and I used that for a lot of cleaning. Ran out of coffee filters yesterday, so needed those. We do have a few food items. My daughter wanted some peas, so I was glad to fulfill that request. And a lemon for a recipe, needed some garlic. I like cooking with fresh garlic, but I went without that for most of the month last month, just to do without and use the garlic powder that I had. Have some marshmallow fluff for a recipe coming up. Some Cheetos, that was kind of a splurge. They were actually on sale, and that's the only time I will buy those, but they were on sale, and we actually didn't eat a lot of chips last month, so I was kind of excited to get those. We're out of saltines. The peanuts are also for a recipe coming up, and the caramel. Had lots of seasonings that we were running low or ran out of during the month. So some pepper, seasoned salt, garlic salt, and then some pink Himalayan salt, a few drinks there, and then milk and some orange sauce. I like to keep that on hand for when we do Chinese at home. And some Kewpie mayonnaise. This is the first time I've bought that, but I'm planning to make some sushi bake, and really excited about that, and wanted to get the Kewpie mayonnaise to try in that recipe. But as you see, probably half, not even half, is food. I imagine the rest of this month will primarily be food. We probably are good on most supplies around the house. But the total for this grocery haul was $90.41. So my total for this month is $233.58. Pretty heavy on the front end of the month, but it will drop off quite a bit in the upcoming weeks. I've heard back from some of you, and I know a few of you are trying to do something along these lines, whether you're doing the zero spend or just a grocery or pantry freezer challenge. I really love hearing your stories. I love the recipes some of you have shared. I'm really excited to have you here and glad you've been on this journey with me. If you've stuck it out to the end, I really appreciate it. This is not something I do often at all, maybe once a year. This is about as extreme as it gets for me, but it's been fun. I love a good challenge, and I love the healthy reminders of things that will make me better in the future and help me to do better with the things I've been blessed with. And I appreciate you for joining me on this journey. While most of my content is not intended to be quite this extreme, I do enjoy sharing things that are very budget friendly, and a lot of my content will revolve around that. I imagine if you've been with me on this zero spend journey to this point, that you appreciate budget content as well. So I really look forward to our time together in the future. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I really do appreciate it.